Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, October 27th, 2025. We have a monster show for you. World Series, NFL, college football, NBA, NHL, soccer, golf, NASCAR, Formula One. On this day, news and notes, and best bet. We will start with the World Series. We will go over games 1 and 2 and preview and predict game 3, which is tonight. Friday, the Blue Jays blow out the Dodgers 11-4, and they took a 1-0 series lead. Saturday, Dodgers over the Blue Jays 5-1 to even up this baby at 1 apiece. Yoshi Yamamoto complete game. All right, and then tonight 8 o'clock on Fox, Blue Jays Dodgers from Chavez Ravine, Max Scherzer and Tyler Glasnow. Does Max have another throwback in him? We'll see. The Dodgers are minus 205 favorites. The Blue Jays are plus 172 over under 8.5. Over even money. Unders minus 122. Blue Jays plus 1.5 is minus 115. Dodgers minus 1.5 minus 104. I'm gonna lay the run line with the Dodgers. I still feel that the series isn't going back to Toronto. I don't know if I trust the Jays away from Rogers Center. I thought if they wanted to win the series, they had to win both 1 and 2. Personally, because I think it's really hard to win 2, let alone 1 at Chavez Ravine. So, I'm going to lay the run line with the Dodgers. I don't think Max Scherzer is the same pitcher anymore. And I think the Dodgers pitching as a whole is just on a roll. Okay, now move on to football. We'll talk about the results from last night and look ahead to tonight's lone game. Jets over the Bengals 39-38, so they get their first win of the year. Eagles over the Giants 38-20. Ravens over the Bears 30-16. Dolphins over the Falcons 34-10. Bills over the Panthers 40-9. Texans over the 49ers 26-15. Patriots over the Browns 32-13. Bucks over the Saints 23-3. Colts over the Titans 38-14. Broncos over the Cowboys 44-24. And the Packers over the Steelers 35-25 on Sunday Night Football. All right, Monday Night Football 8:15 on ABC and ESPN. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman on the call. Commanders Chiefs. My line for this game is Chiefs by 12. Total 47 and 3/20. And it is Chiefs by 10.5. Total 47.5. Very close. Slight lean Kansas City. I think this is a blowout. And the Chiefs are back, folks. I'm going to do a slight lean towards the Chiefs. And I think it was smart not to use them in Survivor. I think the spot they used them was last week against the Raiders, but I think that they are going to win and cover rather easily. Okay, now move on to college football. We'll go over the results from the weekend. Obviously, we have games tomorrow, but we'll get to them tomorrow. All right, Friday night. North Texas over Charlotte 54-20. Virginia Tech over Cal 42-34 in double overtime. So best bet lost because of the game with the double OT. Boise State over Nevada 24-3. Saturday, number 2 Indiana over UCLA 56-6. Number 3 Texas A&M over number 20 LSU 49-25. Number 4 Alabama over South Carolina 29-22. Number 6 Oregon over Wisconsin 21-7. Number 7 Georgia Tech over Syracuse 41-16. Number 8 Ole Miss over number 13 Oklahoma 34-26. Number 9 Miami over Stanford 42-7. Number 10 Vanderbilt over number 15 Missouri 17-10. Number 11 BYU over Iowa State 41-27. Number 14 Texas Tech over Oklahoma State 42-0. Number 16 Virginia over North Carolina 17-16 in overtime. Number 17 Tennessee over Kentucky 56-34. Memphis over number 18 South Florida 34-31. Number 19 Louisville over Boston College 38-24. Number 21, Cincinnati over Baylor, 41-20. Number 22, Texas over Mississippi State, 45-38 in overtime. Washington over number 23, Illinois, 42-25. Houston over number 24, Arizona State, 24-16. Number 25, Michigan over Michigan State, 31-20. Nebraska over Northwestern, 28-21. Rutgers over Purdue, 27-24. Wake over SMU, 13-12. Kansas State over Kansas, 42-17. Old Dominion over App State, 24-21. Kent State over Bowling Green, 24-21. Ohio over Eastern Michigan, 28-21. Auburn over Arkansas, 33-24. Akron over Buffalo, 24-16. Rice over UConn, 37-34 in double overtime. New Mexico over Utah State, 33-14. Iowa over Minnesota, 41-3. Wazoo over Toledo, 28-7. Pitt over NC State, 53-34. San Diego State over Fresno State, 23-0. Southern Miss over UL Monroe, 49-21. Navy over FAU, 42-32. Temple over Tulsa, 38-37 in overtime. Northern Illinois over Ball State, 21-7. Central Michigan over UMass, 38-13. Miami of Ohio over Western Michigan, 26-17. TCU over West Virginia, 23-17. Arkansas State over Georgia Southern, 34-24. Troy over Louisiana, 35-23. Wyoming over Colorado State, 28-0. Utah over Colorado, 53-7. Okay, now we'll go to the NBA. We'll go over the weekend's results and look ahead to tonight. Busy slate tonight, but I apologize in advance. I do not have totals tonight. Friday, Bucks over the Raptors, 122-116. Hawks over the Magic, 111-107. Cavs over the Nets, 131-124. Knicks over the Celtics, 105-95. Pistons over the Rockets, 115-111. Heat over the Grizzlies, 146-114. Spurs over the Pelicans, 120-116 in overtime. Wizards over the Mavericks, 117-107. Lakers over the Timberwolves, 128-110. Trailblazers over the Warriors, 139-119. Kings over the Jazz, 105-104. And the Clippers over the Suns, 129-102. Saturday, Bulls over the Magic, 110-98. Thunder over the Hawks, 117-100. Sixers over the Hornets, 125-121. Grizzlies over the Pacers, 128-103. Nuggets over the Suns, 133-111. Sunday, Spurs over the Nets, 118-107. Pistons over the Celtics, 119-113. Cavs over the Bucks, 118-113. Heat over the Knicks, 115-107. Hornets over the Wizards, 139-113. T-Wolves over the Pacers, 114-110. Mavs over the Raptors, 139-129. Clippers over the Blazers, 114-107. Lakers over the Kings, 127-120. All right, tonight's games, 7 o'clock on Peacock. You have the Cavs against the Pistons. My line's Pistons by 3. And it is Cavs 2.5 total to 31. I'm taking the Pistons plus 2.5 plus 118. Cavs are injured still. And Pistons have been playing well. Magic Sixers. My line's Magic by 5. It's 6.5 and 227.5. Under because of the injuries on Philly. 8 o'clock Hawks Bulls. My line is Hawks 2.5. That's what it is. Total's 242.5. Under. It's way too high. Nets Rockets. My line is Rockets by a whopping 19. And 16.5. Total 224.5. Get right spot. I'm laying the points. Celtics Pelicans. My line is New Orleans by 3. And it's Celtics by 2. Total 231.5. I think the Celtics are favored because they're the Celtics. Give me New Orleans plus 2 and plus 108. They send them to 0-4. But I don't feel good about that. Raptors Spurs. My line is Spurs 7.5. And it is 4.5 and 233.5. I love the Spurs minus the points. Love it. Wemby is head and shoulders above everyone else in that game. 8:30 Thunder Mavs. Minus Thunder by 10. And it is 9 and 226.5. Over. 9 o'clock Suns Jazz. I have Jazz by a half, and it is Jazz by 1, total 30.5. Vegas knows I like the over. 9:30 on Peacock Nuggets Timberwolves. I have Nuggets 2.5. No Anthony Edwards. It's 6.5. That's crazy. Total 229.5. Wow. I don't think they're a disaster without Edwards. I still think that they can hang around. Maybe Denver's peeking ahead. Maybe Denver wins by 5. So I'm taking the T-Wolves plus the 6.5. That will not be best bet. 10 o'clock Grizzlies Warriors. I have Warriors 7.5. And it is 8.5 to 39.5. I don't like going over on totals that are beneath or hovering 240. I don't want to say beneath, but like hovering 240, but I'm going to go over with this one. And last but not least, 10:30 T-Wolves Lakers. I have Lakers 11.5, and it's... Oh, wait a second. It didn't account for Luka. Oh, wait a second. It wasn't... It didn't give me the nighttime. I just realized that. So that's a mistake by me. So my new projections, Lakers only by a half. If Scoot Henderson were playing, I would have had Portland by 1.5. It's Portland 2.5 total, 226.5. Don't love it, but I'm going to take the Lakers plus the points at plus 124. And my new line for Golden State Memphis is actually 11.5 because I didn't account for the injuries of Ty Jerome and Zach Edey. So I'll like 8.5 with Golden State as well. Okay, now I'll move on to hockey. We'll go over the results from the weekend and look ahead to tonight. We'll begin with Friday. Sabres over the Leafs 5-3. Devils over the Sharks 3-1. Caps over the Jackets 5-1. Jets over the Flames 5-3. Saturday, Flyers over the Isles 4-3 shootout. Bruins over the Avs 3-2. Lightning over the Ducks 4-3. Leafs over the Sabres 4-3 in OT. Panthers over the Golden Knights 3-0. Mammoth over the Wild 6-2. Red Wings over the Blues 6-4. Jackets over the Pens 5-4 in a shootout. Sens over the Capitals 7-1. Habs over the Canucks 4-3. Preds over the Kings 5-4 in a shootout. Stars over the Hurricanes 3-2. Kraken over the Oilers 3-2. And then yesterday, Devils over the Avs 4-3 in OT. Lightning over the Golden Knights 2-1 in OT. Sharks over the Wild 6-5 in OT. Mammoth over the Jets 3-2. Kings over the Blackhawks 3-1. Flames over the Rangers 5-1. Stars over the Preds 3-2. Canucks over the Oilers 4-3 in OT. Only 2 games tonight, 7 o'clock, NHL Network Blues Penguins. Penguins off to a surprisingly good start this season. The Blues are minus 113, Pens minus 106, over under 6.5. Overs plus 114, unders minus 140. Blues minus 1.5 plus 210, Pens plus 1.5 is minus 265. I can't believe the Blues are favored in Pittsburgh. I know it's trying to tell you Vegas knows, but the Pens been hot. I'm taking a minus 106. 7:30 Bruins Sens. Sens minus 170. Bruins plus 140. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 134. Unders plus 110. Bruins plus 1.5 is minus 176. Sens minus 1.5 plus 142. I'm gonna go with the under at plus money. Okay, now we'll move on to soccer. We'll go over the results of note from the weekend and from today, and then we'll look ahead to tomorrow and tonight as well. All right, Friday, Conference League. Rijeka over Sparta Prague 1-0. EPL, Leeds over West Ham 2-1. La Liga, Real Sociedad over Sevilla 2-1. Bundesliga, Bremen over Union Berlin 1-0. MLS playoffs, Miami over Nashville 3-1. Miami leads the series 1-0. Liga MX, Puebla Juarez 4-4 draw. America Mazatlan 2-2 draw. Serie A, AC Milan Pisa 2-2 draw. French League 1. Nantes over Paris FC 4-0. ELC, Preston North End over Sheffield United 3-2. Dutch Eredivisie, NAC Breda and Heerenveen 3-3 draw. Pro League, Al Fateh over Al Ettifaq 2-1. Niam SC, Al Khalij 1-1 draw. Al Hilal over Al Ittihad 2-0. Saturday, EPL, Sunderland over Chelsea 2-1. Newcastle United over Fulham 2-1. Man United over Brighton and Hove 4-2. Brentford over Liverpool 3-2. La Liga, Girona Real Oviedo 3-3 draw. Espanyol over Elche 1-0. Getafe over Athletic Club 1-0. Villarreal over Valencia 2-0. Bundesliga, Frankfurt over St. Pauli 2-0. RB Leipzig over FC Augsburg 6-0. VfL Wolfsburg over Hamburg SV 1-0. Hoffenheim over Heidenheim 3-1. Bayern Munich over Magdeburg 3-0. Dortmund over FC Cologne 1-0. Liga MX Tigres over Tijuana 2-0. Leon Unam 1-1 draw. Guadalajara over Atlas 4-1. Cruz Azul over Monterrey 2-0. Serie A Parma Como 0-0 draw. Udinese over Lecce 3-2. Napoli over Inter 3-1. Cremonese Atalanta 1-1 draw. French League 1 PSG over Brest 3-0. AS Monaco over Toulouse 1-0. Lens over Marseille 2-1. Dutch Eredivisie FC Groningen over Fortuna 2-1. Sparta over Telstar 1-0. FC Volendam over Heracles 3-0. PEC Zwolle NEC 2-2 draw. The Pro League Al Qadish and Al Aqdo 0-0 draw. Damak Al Shabab 1-1 draw. Al Nasser over Al Hazim 1-0. Scottish Premiership Dundee over St. Mirren 3-1. Falkirk over Dundee 2-1. Motherwell over Livingston 2-1. Sunday EPL AFC Bournemouth over Nottingham Forest 2-0. Arsenal over Crystal Palace 1-0. Aston Villa over Man City 1-0. Burnley over Wolverhampton 3-2. Tottenham over Everton 3-0. La Liga Mallorca Levante 1-1 draw. Real Madrid over Barcelona 2-1. Celta Vigo over Osasuna 3-2. Rayo over Alaves 1-0. Bundesliga Leverkusen over FC Freiburg 2-0. VfB Stuttgart over Mainz 2-1. MLS Union and the Fire 2-2 draw. Philly wins in penalties. They lead the series 1-0. Vancouver over Dallas 3-0. They lead 1-0 in the series. San Diego over Portland 2-1. San Diego leads 1-0. And the funny thing is, I remember on the show on Friday, I was saying, why is the Union only like minus 120? Why are they such like a low favorite as a 1 seed? But hey, now we know. Liga MX, Santos over Carretera 3-1. Necaxa over Athletic de San Luis 4-3. Toluca Pachuca 2-2 draw. Serie A Torino over Genoa 2-1. Verona Cagliari 2-2 draw. AS Roma over Sassuolo 1-0. Fiorentina Bologna 2-2 draw. Lazio over Juventus 1-0. French League 1 Lille over Metz 6-1. Lavre C over Ajax Air 1-0. Angers over Lorient 2-0. Nice over Stade 2-1. Lyon over Strasbourg 2-1. Women's friendlies, U.S. over Portugal 3-1. And Mexico over New Zealand 2-0. So U.S. bounces back. And then today, so going on now, we have La Liga, Real Betis, and Atletico Madrid. We have 2 game ones in soccer tonight. 6:45, Cincinnati and Columbus. From Cincy, Cincy plus 145, Columbus plus 265, draw plus 260. This is the let's see, this is the 2-7. This is pretty close for a 2-7, but Columbus is a good team and they won the cup a couple years ago. I think this is going to be a draw. This is kind of reminds me of the Union game a little bit. I think it's going to be a draw after 90. 9 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, Minnesota Seattle game 1. This is the 4-5. And Seattle's actually favored on the road. That's telling. They're plus 125, Minnesota plus 220, draw plus 230, and I'm going to take Minnesota. Or, I'm sorry, Seattle at plus 125 as the road favorite. And then Saudi's King Cup, Al-Fateh over Al-Raida 2-0. Al-Khalij Al-Tawun 1-1 draw. Al-Khalij advances 5-3 on penalties. Al-Khalud over Al-Najma 1-0. And Al-Ali over Al-Batin 3-0. Any notable soccer tomorrow morning I have to touch on before? All right, everything's in the afternoon tomorrow, and we're going to record the podcast around like 11 a.m., but So the Kings Cup tomorrow morning, 10:30 Al Qadiaj and Al Hazim, 10:50 Al Shabab Al Zulfi, 11:10 Al Akhdud Al Halal, and 2 o'clock is Al Nasser and Al Idiad. Okay, next up on the agenda is golf. We will go over the weekend's results from the Black Desert Championship. Your winner with the score of 22 under, Michael Brennan. Second, 18 under, Rico Hoey. Tied for third, 16 under, Justin Lauer, Thibjort Allison, Ben Silverman, David Ford, Pearson Cootie, and Matt McCarty. Tied for ninth with 15 under, Brant Snecker and Max Homa. Tied for 11th with 14 under, Max McGreevy, Stefan Yeager, Brett Horschel, and Christopher Ventura. Tied for 15th with 13 under, Grayson Sieg, Jackson Suber, Jesper Svensson, Kurt Katayama, and Kevin Yu. Tied for 20th with 12 under, Doc Redman, Ben Coles, Jason Day, Harry Springer, Ryan Gerard, Zach Blair, and Braden Thornberry. Tied for 27th with 11 under, Hayden Buckley, Sahith Figlia, Mac Meisner, Patrick Rosters, Sebastian Moss, and Austin Cook. Tied for 33rd with 10 under, David Lipsky, Pat Gazier, Chad Ramey, and Takumi Kanaya. I'm going to do the notables the rest of the way. 37th with 9 under, Vincent Whaley, Michael Thibjorson, Harrison Endicott. Tied for 42nd with 8 under, Christian Ziedenhout, Francesco Molinari, Taylor Hogue. Tied for 47th, 7 under, Adam Shank, Cam Champ. Tied for 51st with 6 under, Sam Ryder, Trey Molinax. Tied for 56th with 5 under, Adam Svensson. 59th with 4 under, Seamus Power. 60th with 3 under, Kevin Roy. Tied for 61st with 1 under, Danny Walker. Tied for 63rd at even, Doug Gim, Taylor Moore. And among those cut, Lucas Hodges, Alex Naren, Nate Hardy, Ben Martin, Chandler Phillips, Adam Hadwin, Nick Dunlap, Joel Dahman, Ryan Palmer, Chon Kim, Matt McNeely, Joseph Highsmith, Mark Hubbard, Stuart Fisk, Martin Laird, Joseph Burnett, Luke List, Patrick Knowles, Matthew Neesmith, Bryce Garnett, Matt Wallace, Babe Hostler, Will Gordon, Chasen Hadley, Taylor Montgomery, Henrik Norlander, Will Chandler, Kevin Stroman, Carson Young. And in withdrawing, a lot of players withdrew. Aldrich Pottinger, Emiliano Grillo, Camila Vegas, Gordon Sargent, Lucas Griffin, and Vince Cavello. Next PGA event is the WWT Championship from the 6th to the 9th from El Cardonal Golf Course in Mexico. So no PGA this week. So we have to wait another week for the next PGA. Okay, now I'll move on to NASCAR. We'll go over the results from the weekend from Martinsville. We'll begin with the trucks. Your winner, Corey Heim. Second, Caden Honeycutt. Third, Lane Briggs. Fourth, Brent Cruz. Fifth, Corey LaJoy. Sixth, Chandler Smith. Seventh, Ty Majeski. Eighth, Tanner Gray. Ninth, Tyler Ankrum. 10th, Brendan Queen. The rest, Gio Ruggiero, who is my pick to win, Grant Effinger, James Wood, Ben Rhodes, Patrick Starpoli, Timmy Hill, Spencer Boyd, Jake Garcia, Dawson Sutton, Justin Carroll, Bailey Curry, Connor Jones, Frankie Muniz, Casey Mears. I remember Casey Mears from back in the day. Logan Bearden, Tony Bredinger, Matt Mills, Andres Perez de Lara, Matt Crafton, Connor Mozak, Daniel Hemrick, AJ Waller, Norm Benning, Raja Caruth, and Clayton Green. Actually, I lied. Xfinity did go in Martinsville. Your winner, Tanner Gray. Second, Sammy Smith. Third, Brandon Jones. Fourth, Sheldon Creed. Fifth, Eric Almirola. Sixth, Jeb Burton. Seventh, Sam Meyer. Eighth, Dean Thompson. Ninth, Connor Zilch. 10th, Justin Bugsnore. The rest, Harrison Burton, Austin Hill, Corey Day, Myatt Snyder, Ryan Sieg, Anthony Alfredo, Patrick Staropoli, Carson Kvapel, Nick Sanchez, Blaine Perkins, Kyle Sieg, Ryan Ellis, Jesse Love, Austin Green, Connor Mozak, Justin Algier, Christian Axe, Josh Williams, Parker Retzlaff, Garrett Smithley, Brad Perez, Mason Maggio, Daniel Dye, Jeremy Clements, Brendan Queen, Brendan Poole, Takuma Koga, and Thomas Anazida. And in the Cup Series from Martinsville yesterday, your winner, William Byron. Second, Ryan Blaney. Third, Chase Elliott. Fourth, Ross Chastain. Fifth, Kyle Larson. Sixth, Ryan Priest. Seventh, Chris Bell. Eighth, Joey Logano. Ninth, Todd Gilliland. 10th, Josh Berry. The rest, Tyler Riddick, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Shane Van Gisbergen, Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, Cole Custer, Bubba Wallace, Justin Haley, Brad Kozlowski, John Hunter Nemechek, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, Michael McDowell, Zane Smith, Ty Dillon, Ricky Stennis Jr., AJ Allmendinger, Chris Boucher, Noah Gragson, Carson Osvar, Cody Ware, Casey Mears, Eric Jones, Denny Hamlin, Riley Herbst, and Chase Briscoe. All right, it all is going to finish this weekend. All from Phoenix. Friday night under lights for the trucks. Saturday night under the lights for Xfinity. And then the Cup is Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Okay, now we'll move on to Formula One. I can't believe we missed the boat on Xfinity. I guess the odds didn't show up. That's why I just kind of glanced it over. So Formula One yesterday from Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. Your winner, Lando Norris. Second, Charles Leclerc. Third, Max Verstappen. Fourth, Oliver Bearman. Fifth, Oscar Piastri. Sixth, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Seventh, Gage Russell. Eighth, Lewis Hamilton. Ninth, Esteban Ocon. 10th, Gabriel Bortoleto. 11th, Yuki Tsunoda. 12th, Alex Albon. 13th, Isaac Hadjar. 14th, Lance Stroll. 15th, Pierre Gasly. 16th, Franco Colapinto. 17th, Carlos Sainz Jr. 18th, Fernando Alonso. 9th, Nico Hulkenberg. And 20th is Liam Lawson. Next race, the Brazilian Grand Prix on the 9th of November from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So, no Formula One this weekend. It's just NASCAR. Okay, now move on to on this day. Before we do today, I want to do Saturday and Sunday. So this was Saturday. This was the anniversary on Saturday, so this was from the 25th. 2020, Tom Brady breaks all-time touchdown pass record. He was with the Bucs at the time. It was during COVID. 2015, Timberwolves head coach Flip Saunders passes away. Wow. It's been 10 years since Flip Saunders died. Wow. That's crazy. 2024, Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam in Game 1 against the Yankees. Yeah, we know what happened there. 2023, Dusty Baker retires as manager of the Astros. 2015, Miami fires Al Golden. Al Golden's an NFL coach now, if I'm not mistaken. 2015, Arian Foster tears his Achilles. So this was a busy day in 2015. 2018, the Twin Tire Rocco Baldelli. I think he's still their manager, isn't he? Or maybe they just fired him. Yeah, he just, yeah. He just got fired. 2013, the Wizards acquired Marcin Gortat. I remember that trade because um, the Suns, we all thought were going to be tanking that year for Embiid and Andrew Wiggins and Jabari Parker, and they overachieved. And then the Wizards got Gortat, and then they were a playoff team in the East. 2021, Texas Tech fires Matt Wells. 2013, the Nationals hire Matt Williams. Matt Williams was a bad manager. Oh my God. 2015, Kirk Cousins has You Like That breakout game. Oh, who did they play? Oh, You Like That? Oh my God, I forget who they played. And I remember they were an underdog. What did they play? Like the Bears, maybe? And the funny thing is that he played when he was on the Redskins. It was the Buccaneers. And then 2019, the Red Sox hired Shane Bloom as president. Oof. And Shane Bloom is no longer there. No, he's with the Cardinals. Shane Bloom's now with the Cardinals. All right, Sunday's throwback. So on this day from Sunday, so October 26th, so this was the anniversary of yesterday. So 2017, the Yankees fired Joe Girardi. I forgot that they waited this late to fire, or they did lose a couple days prior. So that's why they waited so long, or in theory, but yeah, it was like 5 days after they lost, and they got rid of him. 2014, Oscar Tavares killed in a car crash. He was thought out to be a star, an absolute star with the Cardinals. He played in the World Series the year prior when they played the Red Sox. It was such a tragedy when he passed away. 2020, Odell Beckham Jr. tears his ACL with the Browns. That was during COVID. 2021, Blackhawks GM Stan Bowman resigns amid scandal. Let's face it, he had to quit because of that. 2016, the Chicago Cubs win first World Series game in 68 years. That World Series championship is going to be coming up in these memories in a couple of days, but their first World Series win in 68 years. 2022, Adam Wainwright to retire after 2023. I kind of remember it coming out the year prior. 2018, Dodgers win 18 inning World Series game over the Red Sox. The one game they won in the series, and then the Red Sox won the series. 2015, Torrey Hunter retires. Great player. 2014, Ben Roethlisberger throws for 522 yards. I forgot who they played there. 2013, Cardinals win World Series game 3 on walk-off obstruction. I remember that against Boston. They should have won that series. I thought they were the better team, and that Red Sox team was kind of fugazi. 2018, Will Fuller tears his ACL. He was thought out to be a really good receiver. And in 2017, Donta Hightower out for the year for New England. And then on this day, today, October 27th, 2012, Rockets acquired James Harden. They got James Harden right before the season. Literally right before the season. 2020, the Dodgers win the World Series, the COVID World Series, in the Texas bubble. Clayton Kershaw got his first ring. 2013, Calvin Johnson totals 329 yards. I remember that. 2024, the Commanders stun the Bears on the Hail Mary. Today's the anniversary of the Hail Mary. 2023, Adolis Garcia walk-off home run in Game 1 of the World Series against the Diamondbacks. 2022, David Stearns resigns as president of the Brewers. This is ironic. 2018, the Mets hire Brodie Van Wagenen as GM. Yikes. He was a disaster. 2019, J.J. Watt out for the season for the Texans. 2014, Jets named Michael Vick starting quarterback. I don't really remember Vick on the Jets. Geno Smith was there at the time, right? 2019, Astros take 3-2 World Series lead over the Braves. Or I'm sorry, it was the Nationals. Wrong NL East team. 2017, Jaguars acquire Marcell Dareus. I really don't remember them getting Marcell Dareus. That was a while ago. In 2013, the Islanders acquired Thomas Vanek. I kind of remember that because he was a bust for them. All right, so there you have it for on this day. Okay, now we'll move on to the news and notes for today. We have a lot to do in news and notes. We'll try to rapid fire. Cam Scadaboo of the Giants dislocated his ankle. That was awful. Hopefully he'll recover. I think that changes a lot of things for the Giants. I know they want to develop Jackson Dart. And I think that there's a possibility that this injury and Damers' injury saves Brian Daboll's job. Oh, and of course, Dart being good as well. But it's just a bummer. I mean, I'm kind of thinking that the Giants are going to have another top 5 pick in the draft. I think this is a really bad injury. Tyron Tracy is better than your average replacement. I'll put it this way. I think Malik Neighbors will still prove to be a bigger loss than Cam Scadaboo. And that's because of how good I think Tyron Tracy is compared to the wide receivers that the Giants have. But maybe they'll trade for somebody to try to be competitive to help Dart develop. And that's why I would be okay with them being a buyer at the deadline to help the rookie quarterback grow. But at the same time, I completely understand if they are a seller because you're not going anywhere anyway. And maybe you want to load up on draft picks to help rebuild the offensive line and such. And his surgery went well, which was good. Malik Neighbors deleted an Instagram story. I wonder if he was sending a message about Brian Kelly, who was fired after they lost to Texas A&M. And we'll see who replaces him. You know you're going to be hearing Lane's name all over the place. And then Big Dom gave a gift to Scadaboo as he visited him in the hospital and hooked him up with stuff. So that was very nice of Big Dom. I know everyone likes to make fun of Big Dom, but he's a great guy. Very good sportsmanship. You like to see that when somebody gets hurt. So Bo Bichette expected in the lineup for Game 3 after coming off the bench on Saturday. So the Orioles have named a new manager. And it is Craig Albornoz, who was the associate manager of the Guardian. So he was the lead assistant under Stephen Vogt. We'll see how he does. Um, Obviously being on Vote staff, that's good, and Vote's done a good job in his first 2 years as a manager. So there's some promise. Um, and then other than Brian Kelly, the LSU Tigers also fired offensive coordinator Joe Sloan. Um, Liam Cohen says no plans to trade Brian Thomas Jr. despite being in trade rumors. Anthony Edwards is out for 2 weeks with a right hamstring strain. And obviously, Luka has the left finger sprain and leg contusion. He'll be out a week. Another player that's out, except in football, Quinshon Judkins is day to day with a sprained shoulder. And then rookie linebacker Carson Schweissinger, high ankle sprain. Pat Surtain left the game with a shoulder injury against the Cowboys in their win. Trey Hendrickson had a right hip injury against the Jets. That factored into that game. Shamar Turner of the Bears did not return against the Ravens. Ed Oliver exited the game due to a bicep injury. The Rams and the Titans made a trade. Roger McCreary going to the Rams for a conditional 5th, 6th round pick swap. So the Rams strengthening their secondary. Raiders Jacoby trade price as they want a day 2 pick to consider a deal. Mets coach Desi Drusel is going back to the Yankees as an assistant pitching coach after one season in Queens. How about this? Aroldis Chapman went off on the Yankees as he still has beef with them. Well, you stunk in the playoffs against them. They absolutely stunk. And he said that he'd retire if he got traded back to the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees would take him back. I wouldn't want him back as a Yankee fan. He was good when he first came, and then he turned into an enigma. And he was fantastic this year as the Red Sox closer, but he stunk against the Yankees in a game that the Red Sox won, but the Yankees won the series though. The Saints benched Spencer Rattler for Tyler Shugg. Manny Ramirez and Floyd Mayweather, or Manny Pacquiao, I mean, and Floyd Mayweather rematch in the works as they're in talks for a 2026 Netflix fight, which is awesome. And then obviously the saddest news of yesterday was the passing of former Jets center Nick Mangold, 41 years old, as he passed away from a kidney disease. That's just an absolute shame. The news broke at 11:30 yesterday morning. So it's obvious that those players on the Jets knew before the game. And it turned out to be that win was for him. I don't want to hear about tanking and LOL Jets. No. Absolutely not. Not in this scenario. Rest in peace, Nick Mangold. One of the best Jets ever. Certainly in my lifetime. Watching him year in and year out. Rex Ryan got emotional on the air talking about Mangold, and I don't blame him. Thoughts and prayers go out to the Mangold family, his friends, his former Jet teammates and coaches, and the New York Jets organization. Just very sad day. in Jetland yesterday with him passing away. And this came 12 days after he came out with a statement um um that he directed a message to the Jets in Ohio State for asking for a kidney because no one in his family shared the type O blood type. And then he passes away 12 days later. That it is an absolute freaking shame. So sad. And good for the Jets to go out there and win that game yesterday. Tyrod Taylor was going to start that game, but he was injured and ended up being Justin Fields. And Justin Fields finally won a game where the other team scored more than 20 points or whatever that stat was. But they did that for Nick yesterday. I'm sure he's looking down on the Jets. Very proud of their effort yesterday in that thrilling comeback against the Bengals. I actually took the Bengals in my survivor pool instead of New England, which was a big mistake. And I even said to myself at 11:30, I might regret this Bengals survivor pool pick. What I should have done was switch back to New England, but I got cute and said to myself, oh, I'm going to save them from when they play the Jets or the Dolphins. And I didn't want to pick Atlanta because they didn't have Michael Penix. And that, I don't think that would have mattered because Atlanta's defense was an atrocity yesterday. But yeah, I'm out of my one survivor pool because I took the Bengals and Joe Flacco against the inspired Jets team after the passing of a legend in Nick Mangold. And it's just, like I said, very, very sad. And Woody Johnson said Nick was more than a legendary center. He was the heartbeat of our offensive line for a decade and a beloved teammate whose leadership and toughness defined an era of Jets football. Off the field, Nick's wit, warmth, and unwavering loyalty made him a cherished member of our extended Jets family. And he obviously is rightfully in the Jets Ring of Honor. Like I said, one of their best players ever. Probably one of the best, maybe 5 Jets in my lifetime. But yeah, so freaking sad. We talked about LSU firing Brian Kelly. 34-14 over 4 years. No one. It's weird because usually if you have that good of a record in college football, you're usually okay. But I just think LSU is just a dysfunctional and demanding program. They're like a better version of how Florida's run. And they think they're hot shit. And they're not. They're not Bama. They're not Georgia. But LSU and Florida are literally the same, except Florida I think is more dysfunctional than LSU. And then LSU owes Brian Kelly $54 million as he's the second largest contract buyout in college football history. And the interim coach is going to be Frank Wilson. Okay, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I have to lay the points with Wemby and the Spurs against the Raptors, who I think are overrated. Wemby's just gonna dominate. And I think that they're gonna blow him out. I really do. I think 4.5 is extremely low. So I'm going to lay 4.5 with the Spurs against the Raptors for my best bet of the day. All right, so there you have it for today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. Look ahead to everything tomorrow. Going to record early tomorrow, hopefully. So that should be good. Have a great day, everyone.